I hope you're all doing good and you had a good break as well from our sessions. You got to catch up on the previous recordings and to practice them. And I've been seeing all your works and they're wonderful. Keep doing them. And as you all know, the whole purpose of this ritual is that you practice art on a daily basis, if not with everyone, at least for yourself. And I think I'm seeing that and I'm very happy. Also, don't forget to share your creations on social media. It's a very nice platform to showcase your talent. And today we are going to do a sacred geometric design. And why a mandala? Because mandalas are circular in nature, right? So, and obviously the design that we're going to construct is circular in circular in shape. And also, I'll be teaching you the traditional design, but I'll also give you one or two ideas where how you can also incorporate mandala patterns, designs in it, so that way you can bring in your own creativity. Also, feel free to go beyond that, and you can add in colors and different styles and elements. This sacred geometry is something I have been exploring, and it's my personal interest as well that I've explore different geometries, different types like seed of life, flower of life, egg of life, tree of life. Sri Yantra is something I haven't got into yet, but I would love to in the future. But this Torus mandala is something I've done different variations, and I have personally, come up with different technique, which like I found it useful. Like, of course, by learning 2 to 3 tutorials, and then you try sort of come up with your own, like what works best for you. And this is what I'll be showing today. If there's anything, feel free to share. And yeah, I think all good. Let's get started. Okay, so first, we are going to take our compass. And ruler as well. And the measurement that we are going to take is going to be 4 centimeter. So you can just place your compass. Take a measurement of 4 centimeters. Okay. And just draw the circle. That's it. Just tentatively take a center point, just tentatively, and just draw the circle. If you want extra precision, what you could do, like how we normally start our mandala by marking the center point on all the 4 sides, and then joining it horizontally and vertically, and then we get the center point. You can do that, but make sure you just erase those horizontal and vertical lines once you're done getting the center point, because we don't want those lines. The horizontal line to an extent is fine, but we don't need the vertical line. Scale again, and then draw a horizontal line through this point. Now, with the same 4 centimeter measurement, because I've adjusted my compass, I'm taking it again, but the measurement still remains the same. With the 4 centimeter itself, where your line is intersecting with the circle, draw another one. See, the horizontal line is intersecting with the first circle, right? So at that point, I'm going to place my compass and then just draw the circle. Okay. Now here on, now where these two circles are intersecting, you have a point here, right? Just draw another circle with the same measurement. So the measurement is going to remain the same. Okay, the 4 centimeter measurement is going to remain the same. That will not change at all. After we have got our second circle, where the second circle and the first circle are intersecting, place your compass there, over here. Okay, and then draw the circle. Now the same thing, where the circle that you have drawn just now, right, the third circle, intersects with the first circle, place your compass there and then draw another circle. Keep in mind the measurement remains the same. You don't have to change at all. And by now, I'm sure you know what the next step will be, where this circle intersects with your first circle, right? So first, second, third, fourth. So where your fourth circle intersects with your first circle, place your compass. Now, same thing. Where the latest circle that you have drawn, the fifth circle, intersects with the first circle, which is over here, place your compass. We have one last circle to go, and you know the step where the circle that you have drawn just now, it is intersecting with the first circle over here. Just draw the we are going to make some markings on the very first circle that we drew. Okay. So how are we doing that is, basically, I'm just making sure that this overlapping intersection, right? And this one. So I'm just trying to make sure my scale is aligned along with the center point. Like this point, the center point, and this point. And then we'll just make a marking like this. That's it. Just a marking on the circle, that's it. And then the same thing, just a marking. So you'll get 6 markings like this. So what we drew just now until the markings, like, is basically a seed of life. So we are elaborating or developing this further in simple terms. All right. So keeping the measurement same, now we are going to take these points. So keep your finger, okay? Always keep your finger near your marking like this. So this is the point that I'm going to draw. Keep your finger. Now, one tip I would like to give, make sure that your measurement is still 4 centimeter, because sometimes, with compasses, they can alter a little bit, right? So just make sure your measurement is still intact, because with secret geometry, the precision is really important. Okay. So make sure that you're placing your compass correctly and then draw the circle. Now, to the next marking. And another tip that I would like to give is make sure that your pencil is also sharpened, so that then you'll get those sharp, crisp lines. Okay. And then so this is how you'll get these circles. So now take another color pen, guys. So same technique as before, the same thing. Okay, just now, for instance, take your first marking maybe, and then the circle next to it and the segment. Okay, so just make sure they're both aligned and the center point. And make a marking. Something like this, guys. It's the same thing. Instead, earlier we had a bigger segment, right? Like this, and then we took the center point. But this time it's a smaller segment. So you can tentatively mark also, but that's not how it works, right? You want that precision. And the same thing. I have these two markings, right? So I have two other markings in between them. So keep that as a reference. Keeping the same measurement, draw the circle. Again, keep your finger at every point and then draw. If you want, you can even give some markings like, A, B, C, D and all. But that is one method. Or you can also just keep your finger simply and just be in the moment and do it. You will figure it out. With the markings that you have made, similar to before, just keep your finger point and draw these circles. So now, yeah, you can do any sheet. Like I have practiced this on a regular sketchbook, and then now I'm doing it on a craft paper. You can do it on anything, no problem. Like I've only used the color markings without any hesitation because I know this is like a session where we are all learning, right? So now once you know the technique and once you're familiar with the construction process, you can actually, the next time you do, what you could do is you could use pencil itself with different intensities, or different style of lines like dashed line or a lighter line like that. So that way you can erase it with your eraser. In fact, even if you use lighter shade of color pencils also, you can erase it very well. So whatever works for you. And when you do it multiple times, sometimes you wouldn't need those markings as well on a fair sheet. So that way you'll be good. Okay. So now what we're going to do is um, we are going to make a few more concentric circles, and then I will give you, or I'll teach you one design variation. And then after that, we'll go ahead with this process. From the first circle that we drew, you just come down a little bit and you can see where it is intersecting, right, over here. Like this. Then you can see once you draw the circle, a petal-like thing will be formed. And then we could do one more. Similarly, wherever you can see the circle is intersecting, so the one of the design suggestions that I could give to you, like how when we usually draw a mandala, we have these patterns in similar style, right? Like intersecting on one above the other. So I've given an inner outline to everything. So this is how it will be, right? And then I've alternated it with a color, but again, I've still kept the inner border. Okay, like this. So you could basically make an inner border for each of the pattern like this in all the rows, right? You could do like the mandala patterns in each of them if you want. You can keep repeating it, or you could do like how I've done, alternating it with color. So there are different ways and styles of doing it. You can really explore and experiment with this. So don't get confused with this bit. So what we are really doing is where your lines are intersecting, you make the measurement. You make the circle. So every day is definitely a new learning. Like I have mostly taken workshops during daylight while I was in Qatar, because Qatar is usually, I'm not usually, it is behind Indian timings. So this is the first time that I'm experimenting, not first time, one of the first few sessions where, I've started by doing with Chetna, and then now I'm doing this 21 days ritual where I'm experimenting with the light and everything. So definitely the light does have a nice property on the paper. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Micron pen, but before I do that, here is another variation that I would like to teach you. After doing these concentric circles, you can still do the first design that I've taught you. You can still do that, you can still do like this. But instead, you will have like these concentric circles as your base. You can get more creative. You can actually do like a small offset like this and add colors in colors like this, and then patterns. So colors and patterns. So alternate will be colors like this, alternate will be patterns. So the creativity is unlimited. Okay. So depending on the type of paper, go with the what medium. So if it's a 300 GSM or more, then go with watercolors or acrylics. But if it's little less than that, you could also go with these brush pens, watercolor brush pens, which are not so hard. And you could also use color pencils. Yeah. Okay. So now we are going to take, so for this one, what I've just shared, I've not really done any artwork. It has just come to me now and I'm sharing it with you. So the idea is you can always brainstorm and come up with different design ideas. Okay, so the center you can see like a flower bit, right? Like a long elongated one. So we're going to ink that. And you can go with any fine liner that suits you. So I'm going with 0.5, but you can also go with 0.3 as well. As long as whichever one you're comfortable with, because it's more of just us filling it. Okay. So we're just basically inking, and it's okay. There will be few which are overlapping. Just follow the lines. That's it. When you're filling, because that will spoil the nib of your pen. Like 0.05 or 0.3, don't take that. It'll just spoil your pen. So the key is that we start filling in all of these. Okay. And the same process. So you'll ink this concentric circle like this as well, and then fill it up. I will be doing a small section so that you can understand the whole design. What we are doing for the small section will just carry forward for the whole design. So this is a very basic and a simple adaptation. So today how we have drawn the torus mandala is basically repeating the seed of life multiple times. Okay. So again now we are going to take the next set of triangles, right? Or the petals basically. So as you keep drawing, it will make sense to you. And then just fill it. So you don't have to worry about creating an inner border because we are already leaving these white gaps, right? So you can also, if you want, experiment with different measurement, like instead of 4 centimeter, you can also go with 3 centimeter or 3.5. So it'll be a little smaller design, right? So same thing. So I think now you are getting an idea of how we do the design, right? Or how we are basically proceeding with it. Mm. Okay. So you can even do this with different colors, like one color, one layer, one color like that. Okay. I've just taken a little more thicker pen so that I can fill it a little more faster and it's more convenient as well. I've taken a 1.0 size from Brustro. It's basically, if your nib size is bigger, it's easier to fill. You can also, like we discussed before, use different mediums according to the paper you have chosen. So just keep going. It's a very therapeutic process in itself where you're just sort of um, very selectively coloring each pattern or each petal or each triangle. Okay. You just keep going till the last circle.